Well, good day, Warriors. Welcome back to another edition of Milton's Monday Motivational Message, the 4M Club. Hey, look, man, interesting story today. But anyway, I am George A. Milton, America's Failure Coach, aka Major Failure Tastic, creator of America's Failure Command. Today, I am sharing one of the most important failure to success experiences of my entire military career. A story that taught me deep in my bones that failure is never the problem, your response is. So look, before we begin, let me set the stage. There are many awards in the United States military, but one of the hardest and most prized foreign military awards I ever earned was the German Armed Forces Military Proficiency Badge. The German Armed Forces Military Proficiency Badge, or the GAFPB, is a German military decoration that tests a soldier's fitness, marksmanship, and physical capabilities through events like a swim in uniform, a ruck march, and a timed run. For the U.S. military, it's one of the few authorized foreign awards, and it's highly sought after because it symbolizes excellence and strengthens the partnerships between our two nations. And you can wear it on your uniform. Not all foreign badges will do that. Now let me tell you how failure became the doorway to me earning that gold badge. Warriors, sometimes you can serve for years, even decades, with the gold burning quietly in your heart. And for over 23 years of my military service, through multiple assignments and combat deployments, one of my top goals was to earn that badge. I wanted it badly. I mean, I dreamed about it, man. I mean, I visualized it. I mean, it was personal. And finally, after more than 2 decades, my chance came. It took me over 23 years of my military service to obtain this award. For many years of my Army life, to include combat, I had as one of my top goals was to earn that gun badge. By the time I was afforded the opportunity to earn the badge, I was a major in the United States Army, well into my career. On the day that it was brought to my attention that I finally had the chance to compete for the award, I was beside myself. Couldn't believe it, man. I mean, what? But I was ready, physically fit, at the highest level, highly motivated, battle-hardened, baby, and committed to my life as a soldier. It was time. There was only 2 of us in the command who were even given the opportunity to go and drive 8 hours one way from Louisiana all the way to Oklahoma, where I was an assistant professor of military science, to compete for that badge. I cannot explain how excited I was. Oh man, after having served many years in the Army, that I would finally get my chance, get my opportunity to prove to myself and to others and gain this award. How bad I was. Warriors, listen to me. Sometimes you think you're ready. Sometimes you believe you're prepared. And sometimes life says, oh really? Let's find out. This is where failure shows up. Not to destroy you, but to reveal you. You see, after a long and excited drive, we arrived. It was a 2-day event. On the first day, the first event was a 100-meter swim, which was timed. Swimmers must complete the 100-meter swim in under 4 minutes, man, to meet the requirement for the badge there, boy. The swim had to be completed while wearing a military uniform with PT gear underneath. Heck, that was going to be no problem at all. I mean, I grew up in Texas, going to local lakes, ponds, and swimming pools. As we lined up, this big hulking German sergeant major comes over and gives the instructions of what the expectations were. There we were, about 30 participants from all over the United States of America. I came up to the edge of that pool, that starting line, and positioned myself in a half squat position, readying myself for the start of the badge to begin. I had spent many years daydreaming about this day, right? The sergeant major blew his whistle. Come on now. Hey, hit it. I hit that water with the exuberance of someone who had been missing a long lost friend that I longed to see for many years. Right before I dove into the pool, I thought, 4 laps? That is all is needed. Piece of cake, baby. Down 1, back 2, down 3, back 4. In the home stretch, tired from exhaustion and excitement, I made it in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 30 seconds to spare. Man, I grabbed my daggone wall, looked up at the clock, looked up at the sergeant major with this big old cheese-eating grin on my face. The next words I heard were a shock that turned my excitement into excruciating pain. Fail! You get a no-go at this station there, sir. I said, what? Huh? I protested. Look, Sergeant Major, I respectfully said this. I swam the 100 meters within the allotted time. He then said, yes, sir, you did. However, you walked half the way. I was dumbfounded. Huh? What do you walk? What do you mean, Sergeant Major? He then explained that he noticed that several times when I appeared to be exhausted, I touched the bottom of the pool in the shallow areas. Yeah, that was true. I mean, Sergeant Major said that the swim had to be unassisted in any way. That meant no touching the floor in the bottom of the pool. Warriors, have you ever had that moment where you swore you succeeded only to have someone tell you, no, you failed? Have you ever celebrated only to discover you missed the mark? And have you ever realized that the thing stopping you was something small you didn't even know was holding you back? You see, I was swimming hard, man, isn't it, huh? But I was also touching the bottom of the pool. And many of you are doing the same thing in life. You're trying. Chugga, 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 chugga. You're pushing. Oh, get it, get it, get it, get it. You're grinding. But you're touching the bottom. You're unconsciously relying on shortcuts, on old habits, on survival behaviors. And you don't even know it's disqualifying you. That day taught me this. Failure isn't what breaks you. Being unaware of your weaknesses does. Guys, I was devastated. After all of the other swimmers had finished their swim, the sergeant major comes over to me where I was sitting at the edge of the pool, dejected, having a pity party, and he said, hey sir, you have 2 choices there. You can conclude the competition with the failure of the first event, or you can finish the 2 days of competition. And if you pass all other events, you can come back at a later date, take the swim portion again. And if you complete the swim within the guidelines, you will be awarded that badge. My initial thought was, yeah, screw that. Compete for what? I still won't be awarded the badge today. No one else failed the dadgum swim either, man. So after thinking about it though, I decided that I don't want to just sit around the next couple of days and watch everyone else competing, so I decided to compete. I passed as expected all of the other events with flying colors, not a single issue at all there, guys. Once the competition was over, I was the only one standing there watching everyone else being awarded their badges. I had spent so many years longing for that badge. My battle buddy ended up getting a silver. I was happy for him, but remember, I mentioned that it was an 8-hour drive one way, which meant we had to drive back 8 hours, and a hellish long ride for me, man. Depressing ride for me. And this dude would not stop talking about the award. Now look, outwardly, I was like, oh, great job trying to be supportive. But inwardly, man, I was like, dude, shut up already. Come, what? Be good, right? Warriors, come on, you've been there. There's nothing harder than failing in front of people who believe in you. There's nothing tougher than returning home with nothing to show for your effort. While someone else rides high on victory. There you are, right? And yet, this is where leaders are forged. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows after defeat. So, there were two things pressing on me. Number one is I let myself down. And secondly, I had to go back and face all of the cadets in our program. That was very difficult, especially since the students saw me as an inspirational leader. The following Monday, we arrived at the battalion at Old Dark 30. The cadets, already in formation, were all excited to hear and to know what the results were. Well, I reported that my battle buddy had achieved a silver badge and I had failed to obtain a single award. They were like, what? I mean, shocked. I mean, right here. This is the turning point, guys. Warriors, failure will expose you. Failure will embarrass you. Failure will humble you. But failure will also invite you to grow. The question isn't, did you fail? Did I fail? The real question is, how will you respond? I could have licked my wounds and given up, but what did I do? I trained for a full 30 days. I found someone who gave me professional swimming lessons. Every day I hit the pool, learning proper swimming techniques, man, right? When I thought I was ready, I called that sergeant major and set up a time to go all the way back to Oklahoma to retake the swim portion of the competition. I personally paid for this trip though, rental car and everything, drove that 8 hours one way, this time alone, to prove that I had what it took to be the kind of leader I knew I was. I arrived at the battalion, went to the pool. The sergeant major was standing at the ready. He gave me the instructions once again. I lined up, edge of the pool, in a half squat. Hey, blow the whistle. I hit the pool. I was totally focused, man, stroking, bam, breathing, huh? Making it happen. Head position, right where it needed to be. And I took in breaths of air as needed. By the time I had finished the 100 meters and the sergeant major reached down into the pool to give me a hand to help me out of the pool, he said two things I'll never forget. He said, sir, you get a go at this station. Oh, and second, he said, in all of his time in awarding the badge, he never saw anyone who awarded it more than myself. Well, on my drive back home, I thought 16 hours for less than 4 minutes to earn an award that I will have for the rest of my life was worth it. That was the longest and most rewarding 16 hours I had had in a long time, warriors. So listen up. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is not the obstacle. Failure is not the problem. Your response is. I didn't earn that badge because I was strong. I didn't earn that award because I was fast. I didn't earn it because I was motivated. Well, I was, but that's not what I wanted. I earned it because I responded in the right way. I invested 30 days. I trained. I swallowed my pride. I drove 16 hours. By that time, that was twice. And I refused to quit. That is the America's Failure Command way. That is the respond and rise way, man. And that is what I want for you. So, look, if this message spoke to you today, I want to invite you into a deeper journey. Go out and get my books. Failure is not the problem. It's the beginning of your success. Get that journal and workbook with that. Failure is not the problem. It's your leadership. A couple of kid books, children's, right? Is Georgie a failure? And my latest children's book is Failure Grace in Her Failure-tastic Experience. These books and my coaching are designed to help you respond and rise in every arena of life. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at America's Failure Command at gmail.com. Check out my website, at georgemilton.com. As your coach, I'm here to help you use your failures to respond and rise and become everything that you were meant to be. Long story, true story. 23 years, gold badge for life, baby. This has been fantastic. See you on the hilltop. Until next time, hold on.